I have leveled up the M433 to level 33 and have unlocked all the best attachments for it, at least what I think are the best. So today I'm going to go through and show you two different builds for the M433, one for long range, one for short range, so you can sort of switch between them depending what game mode you're playing or where you are in the game mode. So like you might want to start with the long range for breakthrough, like at the beginning, and then switch to the short range when you're actually capping a point. But anyways, let's get right into it, starting with the long range variant. So first, for the muzzle device, we have a suppressor, obviously, so that people can't exactly see where it's coming from. You will be able to get way better flanks with this, and people won't know instantly where you are based on the minimap. So I'm using the long suppressor because it does reduce recoil. It does come at the cost of some hipfire accuracy, but the reduced recoil is worth it. And you can, like, the hipfire is still going to be accurate enough with how close people are. And if people aren't that close, you're going to want to aim down sights anyways. The reason we don't want to save the 5 points and go with the standard suppressor is because it doesn't reduce recoil. And you want to really get that reduced recoil, especially for those long range engagements. So moving on from there, I love this lightweight barrel. It's super nice because not only does it improve your aim down sights accuracy while moving, it also enables a faster transition to ADS. So it's definitely the best barrel. I'd say I'm pretty much going to run this barrel on every single M433 build. Unless like you really need points, I think it's totally worth it. It's super nice. So moving on from the light barrel for our foregrip, we're running with the classic vertical. It does cost 35 points, which is super rough, but it greatly reduces the recoil. Like, it is definitely noticeable, and it comes at the cost of movement speed and accuracy while aiming down sights. I don't know if they changed this from the open beta, but it does feel worse to move and shoot than it did before. So I have been finding that guns are a lot more accurate if you're not moving while shooting. But if you do need to like save points for different builds, you can always switch down to like this vertical or even this vertical, and you will lose a little bit of your control, but you can save a bunch of points and get different attachments and stuff. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I do think this is the best foregrip for now. Moving on to the magazine, I didn't change anything here. We don't really have the points. You could switch your foregrip and go for the fast mag, but honestly, I haven't really been having issues with the reload speed. I think it's totally fine. Then for the bullets, I don't think the penetration rounds are worth it. I don't really find myself having to shoot through things very often, and the recoil trade-off I don't really think is worth it. You could, like, if you save some points, you could go for like the frangible or any of these, but I guess frangible isn't worth it, but the hollow point with the improved headshot damage, that may be worth it. I haven't done the math on it though to see if that actually saves you a bullet or not when you're getting kills. So then nothing in ergonomics, nothing in the optic accessory. We have a number of different options for the scope. Personally, I really like this 2.5 times scope. I think it's pretty solid, especially for the long range. But if you don't like that one, I think the 3 times is also super good. I think this 3 times during the open beta was actually 2.5 times, and it was definitely my favorite scope. So I'm sort of disappointed that they changed it to a 3 times. I think I like the 2.5 a lot more than 3 times. And as you can see, that bloom's a little bit rough at that distance, but at this like sort of medium distance right there, it's super easy to get the kills, and at these close distances, it's just super easy, super clean. If you don't like the super zoomed in scopes, the next best ones I'd say is I really like this ROM 1.75. I think it's super solid, especially for the smaller maps. It's really clean. I think it's pretty easy to see. And yeah, so I like this scope a lot. The 1.75 feels really good. And then moving on from there, the one that you start with, I mean, it's fine. It just takes up a lot of the screen. And then other than that, I'm not actually a big fan of any of these until we come to the OSA. I think this is the best one-time sight picture. If you don't like it, I understand it does sort of like take up a big right side of the gun. But I think that the green is super clean. It's easy to show up. And it feels like even with this, as you can see, you can be super accurate at long range. So I really like this sight, especially like even on some long range maps, this sight feels super solid. So I think this may be the best or one of the best sights in the game. Okay, so I think that is pretty much everything for the long range gun. You can change stuff for however you would like, but I do think this is the best. There's nothing really in the red accessory. So let's move on to the short range, which I have in the Warfighter. Oh yeah, and just by the way, if you're like trying to find your skins and you can't find them, if you just hit X on these, it shows you all of the different variants that you can unlock. So like the unstoppable force is you get that like mastery level 50. This is the shrouded weapon, which you get from just buying the Phantom edition. So definitely pay to win. I wish I had known this when I was leveling up the M433. I didn't know I had this gun because I couldn't, when you're in game, you actually can't like see all of the different variants, which is super annoying. At least I haven't found a way to. But yeah, anyways, here is the short range. We'll go into it. So this one's a little bit different, a little bit of the same. For the muzzle device, I just have the double port brake. I figured like close range, if you're up and personal, it's not really worth it to have a suppressor. The brake is good. I tested it against the converter. I think it actually reduces recoil more. The converter doesn't really reduce recoil, it just makes it more vertical. But honestly, with how big the bloom is in this game, I don't think that this really does that much. I think the brake is worth it. You could even go with no muzzle device because it's not a huge difference, but it's a little bit. But if you need to save this at 10 points, you can. Again, we're going to go with the lightweight barrel just for the faster aim down sights accuracy while moving, and then a faster transition to ADS. And then I'm going with the same foregrip. I just think this is the best one. Yeah, I like, so compared to this one has more recoil control, and it does have, both of them have, or this one has a slightly faster transition to aim down sights, but I think that your aim down sight speed is already fast enough with this one, so it's just better to have the more reduced recoil. And then we did have the points for the fast mag, so I think this is worth running instead of just the normal 30 round mag if you can, and save the points somewhere. The 40 round mag is awesome, or the 40 round fast mag is awesome, same with just the 40 round, but obviously those are 30 and 25 points respectively, which is sort of hard to pull off. So I didn't change the bullets, nothing in the ergonomics or optics. The green laser is the big difference. This has a slight improvement to hip fire accuracy. Super nice. You could even run with this green laser as it gives a bigger hip fire accuracy, but honestly, again, with how close people are going to be when you're hip firing, I don't think you need the greater increase to hip fire accuracy. It's just all sort of a balance and trade-off. So, and then finally, just running with the one-time scope. You can change this to whatever you want. Again, this is just my favorite one-times. And as you can see, like at pretty close range, the hip fire is pretty accurate. I'd say that like this range, you should probably be aiming down sights. You don't really need to be hip firing, but even when you're moving, like it's pretty good. So anyways, this is the build that I would go for short range. And as you can see, I mean, it's still pretty solid at long range. And yeah, so anyways, I hope you all found these you know, two builds super good and helpful, and let me know if you like enjoy using them in the actual game. I'll have some clips now at the end just showing like me using well, really leveling up the builds and then using some of them fully decked out as well. And yeah, so that should be fun. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have more guides coming out like this in the next few days, so feel free to subscribe if you'd like to catch those. And yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.